Start by writing out three numbers and drawing a big L underneath them. Find the common factor of those three numbers. Usually 2, 3, or 5 works, so try those numbers first, but in this case, 7 worked, so I wrote down 7. Try to divide all three numbers by that factor and write down quotient for each number below. What's different for LCM method for three numbers is that the factor you find only has to be able to divide 2 out of 3 numbers. In this case, 7 was not able to divide 6, but it could divide 7 and 21, so I included it as one of the factors. Draw another L underneath the three newly generated numbers and repeat the same process until you can't find another common factor. Once you reach a point where you can no longer find a common factor, stop there and multiply all numbers around L's to calculate the LCM. You can exclude ones in this process. Let's try another problem. Continue to find a common factor. Usually 2, 3, or 5 works, so try those numbers first and continue on. Once you're done finding a common factor, write out a big L to collect all numbers around the L's and multiply all those numbers, excluding 1. Your LCM is done and you can box it. Let's try another two problems by writing out big L and trying to find a common factor. In this case, 2 was only able to divide 8 and 10, not 15, but since it could divide 2 out of 3 numbers, I included it. Also, 5 could only divide 2 out of 3 numbers, but it could divide 2 out of 3, so it worked, so I included it. One tip that I recommend all of you to use is to draw out an arrow underneath a number that you're not dividing by that factor so that you can keep track of how many numbers that your factor is dividing. You always have to be able to divide more than 2 out of 3 numbers. So for this problem, you can visualize and check for yourself that all factors 2, 5, and 3 were able to divide 2 out of 3 factors by visualizing there's only one arrow for each row. Let's try today's two last problems and wrap it up. You don't have to exclude ones, but it helps to exclude one, so usually I just don't include 1 when multiplying. Alright, multiply all those numbers except for 1 and come up with your LCM, box it, and you are done. Great job, you guys! Yay!